a squash and a squeeze. A little old lady lived all by herself with table and chairs and a jug on the shelf. The wise old man heard her grumble and grasp, "There's not enough room in my house. Wise old man, won't you help me, please? My house is a squash and a squeeze." "Take in your hand," said the wise old man. "Take in my hand? What a curious plan." Well, the hen laid a leg on the fireside rock and flapped on the room and knocking over the jug. The little old lady cried, "What shall I do? It was spooky for one and stony for two. My nose is tickled and there's no room for a sneeze. My house is a squash and a squeeze." And she said, "Wise old man, won't you help me, please? My house is a squash and a squeeze." "Take in your goats," said the wise old man. "Take in my goat? What a curious plan." Well, the goat shut the curtain and choked on the egg, then sat down to nibble the table leg. The little old lady cried, "Glory be! It was tiny for two and is stitchy for three." The hen picked the goat, and the goat was fleet. "My house is a squash and a squeeze." And she said, "Wise old man, won't you help me, please? My house is a squash and a squeeze." "Take in your peg," said the wise old man. "Take in my peg? What a curious plan." So she took in her pig, who's chasing the hen and raising the ladder again and again. The little old lady cried, "Stop, I implore! It was ditchy for three and stony for four." Even the pig in the ladder agrees. My house is a squash and a squeeze. And she said, "Wise old man, won't you help me, please? My house is a squash and a squeeze." "Take in your cow," said the wise old man. "Take in a cow? What a curious plan." Well, the cow took one look and charged straight at the pig, then jumped on the table and tapped out the jig. The little old lady cried, "Heaven line, it was tiny for four and is sweeney for five. I'm carrying my hair and down on my knees. My house is a squash and a squeeze." And she said, "Wise old man, won't you help me, please? My house is a squash and a squeeze." "Take them all out," said the wise old man. "But then I'll be back where the thirst began." So she opened the window and out flew the hen. "That's better. At last I can sneeze again." She shoot out the goat and shout out the pig. "My house is beginning to feel pretty big." She cussed and he paused and he pushed down the cow. "Just look at my house. It's enormous now." Thank you, the old man, for the working you had done. It was a wonderful find, is gigantic for one. We does not need to grumble, and is not need to grasp this plenty room in my house. And now she is full of frolic, crisp and D&D. It isn't a squash and it isn't a squeeze. Yes, she's full of frolics and fiddy. It isn't a squash or a squeeze. Finish.